A little we had a little schedule conflict that set us back a few minutes, but I would like to say hello and welcome to today's webinar regarding the PACT Act and your VA benefits. My name is Derek Rose, and I work for the California Transition Assistance Program with the California Department of Veterans Affairs. We have a lot of great information to cover today regarding the VA claims process, disability compensation, and specifically related to how the PACT Act can affect your eligibility for benefits. So with that, we'll go ahead and move forward and get started. Just a basic housekeeping and introductions. Again, my name is Derek. We're joined here with my colleague, Kirk Eller, who is monitoring our Q&A and our chat feature. We're also joined by Hayden Velasquez with the Los Angeles Office of Military and Veterans Affairs, who serves as a Veterans Claims Representative for LA County. So we're thankful for him and his team to be able to come on here today and participate in our webinar. We do ask that if you are not a panelist or a presenter to just keep your microphones turned off and your microphones muted and your cameras turned off. This just helps eliminate some distractions and saves on the bandwidth for the presentation. As far as the agenda goes today, we're going to kind of jump right into Hayden's presentation regarding the PACT Act and your VA benefits. And after that, we're going to just do a quick overview of some of the additional benefits and services that are offered here in California for veterans and their family members as well. We also are going to be covering some of our regional resources in Los Angeles County regarding how to get plugged into your local benefits and find your local CalVet assistance down in the Los Angeles County area as well. As far as Q&A goes, you are welcome to ask any questions utilizing that Q&A tab. We will be using the chat feature to just kind of send some resources and links as we're going along. But if you have questions, feel free to use that Q&A because that allows all of us to see the questions and each person can kind of answer appropriately. So we'll kind of review those as they come in, and Kirk, my colleague, can kind of help address some of those as needed, or we can actually hold those to the end if they are a little specific. Since this is a VA claims and disability compensation webinar, we anticipate that there might be some in-depth and detailed questions about your personal circumstance regarding your claim. We do ask to maybe hold off on, maybe going into too much detail about your own circumstance on this webinar. The purpose of this is to kind of provide an overview. And if you'd like to connect with either one of us or a claims representative, please take down all of the contact information today and maybe hold off on some of those kind of in-depth questions and specifically personal questions about your health for somebody specifically, right? All right, with that, I would like to introduce Hayden Velasquez with the Los Angeles County Office of Military Veterans Affairs. Hayden, it's all yours. Just tell me next slide and I can move those slides along for you.
Okay, cool. Hey, everybody. I'm Hayden with LA County Veteran Affairs. I am a veteran myself. I served in the Marine Corps from 2007 to 2011 and deployed to Iraq, went to South America, and I've been working for LA County Veteran Affairs since 2015. So I've been a VSO now for almost 8.5 years. I'm going to briefly go over some of the benefits and assistance VSOs like myself in LA County and in our sister counties throughout the state, and some of the benefits that we could do to help increase and improve your quality of life via CalVet benefits and Veteran Affairs benefits. Next slide. Okay, so what do we do as CVSOs? We help veterans and their dependents with various types of benefits. And yes, I did say dependent. So the state does a great job, as well as the VA itself, to help us with all kinds of things, whether it's compensation, healthcare services, home loans, and benefits for our children. As of 2022, we brought in approximately 425 million new annualized federal benefits. Next slide. Okay, so this is kind of a nice little snapshot of all the different things that we can help you with here at your county level through our VSOs in your hometown. So we have a disability benefits counseling, um, looking for assistance for for your home, or looking for assistance with like food and shelter. We could provide assistance and connect you to resources in your community. We provide help for our widows of benefits and other survivors. Um, Burial benefits, potentially either through payments made to the next of kin, or assistance through the process of having yourself or a loved one um, be buried at a national cemetery or state cemetery. The big one here is disability claim compensation, pension. Looking for your, if you're trying to get a hold of your military treatment records, we can help with that as well. Um, we also, through our partners, community partners, can connect you with organizations that can help you fight to upgrade your discharge. Um, Another big one is the college fee waiver benefit for our kids, and another big one and popular one is the veteran designation on your California driver's license. Um, Next slide, please. Okay, so what is a service-connected disability? Now, personally, I knew when I got out of the Marines in 2011, I was one of those devil dogs that I just wanted to walk away from the Corps and start my life and dive into whatever was coming my way. But little did I know that there was this thing called service-connected disability benefits that I just didn't pay attention to during my separation classes, or didn't think was for me. But a big benefit that we help with here in the state and with our VSOs is trying to get you service connected disability benefits. So the two big things that it helps with is it helps put money back in your pocket through a disability tax free disability benefit payments made to the veteran. And those benefit payments range from anywhere from a 10% all the way to 100% and possibly more. And Also, that could also simultaneously entitle you to VA healthcare services as well. Um, but the main approach that we take as VSOs to try to maximize your disability entitlement is by going about it in a couple different ways, and that is either by blaming the military for your condition. Um, for example, if your condition didn't exist prior to your enlistment, and at the time of your discharge, or at some point during your enlistment, you were diagnosed or did suffer through some sort of physical or emotional injury, then we could file for a disability for that. Another is to a presumptive condition. So I know some of you might have heard of the PACT Act and the illnesses, separately illnesses related to Agent Orange exposure. And those illnesses that are on those lists, if you did serve in certain areas within a certain time frame, and if you came down with any of those illnesses, we could file a claim for those presumptive conditions. And other ways that we could file claims is to blame any existing disability on potentially on a VA service-connected disability. And that's also another approach that we take as VSOs to try to increase your overall disability rating. So next slide. Next slide. Yeah, so ideally what you want to do, if you're someone that is new to the VA benefits, VA disability claims process, you want to submit what's known as an intent to file. An intent to file is a great tool for us vets that allows us to essentially bookmark the day that you submit your intent to file. And that bookmark sends a signal to the VA, alerting them that you intend to file a claim within the next 12 months. When I mean claim, I mean a disability claim, okay? And it's a great tool for us, like I said, because it establishes your back pay dates. Now, there's some fine print to that. For example, if you were discharged within 12 months of submitting your claim back pay date will go back to your discharge date. But for most of us who are past a year since separation. An intent to file, again, uh, potentially maximizes our back pay dates while also buying us time to develop our claim. So if you needed to get medical documentation established with your healthcare provider, or if you're not even enrolled in healthcare, VA or not, this buys you time to enroll in healthcare, get your issues documented, get treatment, get diagnosed, um, so that we could start to put together a compelling claim package for yourself. Other things you want to consider is that if the VA wanted to look at your service treatment records, they will be able to. Um, when we file a claim, the VA is required to obtain your medical file, and they do so for us. So if you wanted to request your service treatment records, you certainly can, and there's ways that us VSOs can assist you with that. But if you're unable to, or you just don't feel like you have to do that, that's perfectly fine. The VA will obtain that for us. And then after that, once your claim is, you've returned to your VSO and you're ready to submit your claim for disability benefits, you will attend a third-party exam. And these exams are performed by contractors that are hired by the VA. And so these exams are not performed at the VA, but they're done at the request of the VA. And when those exams are completed, those notes are sent back to the VA for final review, and then hopefully you get a favorable decision. Next slide. So discharge upgrades. So there is the VA has a great little tool on va.gov that allows us to answer some very basic questions to see what sort of forms and processes that we have to consider when and if we want to make a case to upgrade our discharge. And there's also several local organizations, and one that's highlighted here is Swords to Plowshares that helps veterans that are looking for a discharge upgrade. And here in LA County, we also have the LA County Bar Association and other organizations that help us with our veterans here in the SoCal area. Next slide. So the PACT Act is an incredible benefit that was passed by Congress and signed by the president about 2 years ago. And essentially, the nuts and bolts of it is that it creates a new list of presumed conditions related to toxic exposures in the Middle East and in other areas of the Gulf. And also for our Vietnam veterans, it increases locations that are officially recognized to have stored and housed or used Agent Orange, and also added 2 new conditions to that list. So if you have any uncles or aunties or or any parents that are from that generation, we can help them as well. And we strongly recommend that they come back and visit us to see if maybe if they weren't entitled to benefits before, whether or not they served in Vietnam, they may be entitled now. But the bulk of the benefit is to serve most of our recently discharged veterans from the Gulf and from Iraq, Afghanistan, as well as a lot of the surrounding countries. And mainly those conditions are related to respiratory type illnesses and cancers. So, some of the common ones that we see here in my office is veterans who don't have allergies but are suffering through allergy type symptoms. That is one that I've been seeing a lot lately, and that could be considered the rhinitis or sinusitis. Also, another popular one that I've been seeing a lot of my vets come in with is asthma. So it's an incredible list that I strongly recommend anyone try to get their hands on, which you can find on va.gov as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so VA healthcare eligibility. So that was also recently expanded to include veterans who served during these periods of service. Here on the screen. So if you served in a theater of combat operations during the Persian Gulf, or if you served against hostile force during a period of hostilities from November 11th, 1998, and if you were discharged after October 1st, 2013, you may be entitled to VA healthcare services with limited or almost no restrictions. So um, again, if you've been discharged and if you served in the Gulf, if you served in Vietnam, they've expanded the healthcare eligibility for certain veterans who deployed to certain areas. So if you're looking for healthcare services in order to work on your claim, because let's say you don't have a healthcare plan, please visit your local VSO so that we could put you in touch with your local VA hospital or VA clinic. Next slide. And again, here's just some more details about who may be eligible um, for healthcare services. Next slide. Okay, so some of the presumptive conditions that were also added to the PACT Act list, like I mentioned before, are listed here on the screen. So for any of my veterans who served in the 60s up until the late 70s, even if you did not serve in Vietnam, there is a possibility that you may have had a port call in any of these countries. The popular one for me that I've been seeing here with my LA area veterans is a lot of sailors, Seabees, Marines who may have had a port call in Guam, either for refueling or for a long-term stay. Those veterans were more than likely exposed to Agent Orange and may be eligible and are likely eligible for compensation if they're suffering from any of the presumptive illnesses that are on the Agent Orange list. So here's a little snapshot of all the areas where they may have served and could likely be entitled to those disability benefits. Next slide. And here's a list of all the conditions related to Agent Orange exposure. Again, if I can, I just want to highlight some of the big ones that I see here. The common ones for my veterans is diabetes, unfortunately, Parkinson's disease, hypothyroidism, hypertension, heart disease. So those are and also prostate cancer, or near or in danger of possibly coming down with prostate cancer. So, but obviously that's not the only conditions, and there's several others. So again, if you're a veteran who served in a mid to late 80s in Southeast Asia, please either come in, or if you know a friend or a family member, please let them know to come visit one of our VSO offices in your county. Next slide. Okay, so for all of our Gulf War vets, it's likely you were exposed to burn pits if you served in any of these countries, whether it was from September 11th, 2001, or even going as far back as August 2nd of 1990. So if you served in if your service time meets any of these two categories, and if you're coming down with some of the illnesses that are on the PACT Act list, then stop what you're doing, contact the VSO in your area right away so that we could go over any possible benefits and also help game plan on how to develop your claim package to maximize the chances of approving your disability claim. So next slide. And here's some of the issues that are on the presumptive list for the Gulf War vets. There's several cancers, as you can see, and there's a lot of also illnesses, mainly respiratory type. So again, some of the ones that I've been seeing a lot come across my desk here in LA is asthma, chronic rhinitis, chronic sinusitis, but obviously those are not the only ones. I have had a couple of COPD, but anyway, again, if you're having trouble breathing, if you have any type of breathing related illness, and if you served, if you would see in the previous slide, either in the Gulf in the early 90s or after 2001, please, please, please don't wait another day and visit one of your local county VSO offices so we could put together a game plan to file a claim for you. Okay, next slide. Okay, so how do I find my VSO? So there is, here you can see on this brochure, and as well, if you visit our Calvet website, you'll be able to see that, here we go, thank you. you'll be able to do a quick search of your local VSOs in the area. Um, so please to visit our website. The website has also a lot of other information too that you may not know of, um, that you could bring to your VSO and ask more about. So whether you're a veteran, if you're the spouse of a veteran, or if you're a child of a veteran, please visit the Calvet website. Do a quick search of your local VSO and let us fill you in on what's possible. So next slide. Again, my name is Hayden Velasquez with LA County Veteran Affairs. My primary office is here at the Monrovia Public Library, here in the east of downtown Los Angeles. But we do have service officers all over the county. So if you'd like to reach me directly, please don't hesitate. Shoot me an email, and I'll usually get back to you within a day or two. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hayden. Really appreciate all your time and all the information. Thanks
Yeah,
again.
my pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. I just want to just reiterate what Hayden was saying as well, and how crucial this PACT Act update is regarding all of those conditions that were listed, and just kind of how what the word presumptive really means. It means that it's the VA's duty to basically award you VA compensation if you've been diagnosed with one of those conditions. You typically don't have to go through the whole nexus process like you would be filing a traditional VA disability compensation claim. I myself am a presumptive condition disability awarded veteran. So I think that really is a great benefit that they've expanded this list, because we've come across veterans, I'm sure Hayden has as well, with a whole list of conditions that weren't previously listed. Now those folks can be entitled to service-connected disability. So it really is a really great update. And feel free to reach out to us or an office such as Hayden's to move forward if you feel that you're entitled to a service-connected disability for your service. Thanks again, Hayden. Really appreciate it.
Yes, my pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. All right. With that, I would like to kind of dive in a little bit more about specifically about our program, what we do here at Calvet and the CalTAP program, how our program operates, and some of the work that we do. So just like to share with you a little bit about us. Our program is designed to inform and connect veterans of all eras to their federal and state benefits. We know that not all veterans' needs are the same. For example, if you're a Vietnam era veteran, or if you're a post 9/11 veteran, even a World War II veteran as well, those needs can be different. So the way that we've established our program is through our Pathways program, right? So everything from our core curriculum, kind of starting out in front, which is essentially VA Benefits 101. It's everything from I got my DD 214. Now, where do I go to get my benefits? How do I enroll into VA healthcare? How do I file a claim for a service-connected disability? So really just, that initial getting started point in your journey as far as VA benefits and VA services. We have additional learning pathways as well, and this is all on our website that you can navigate on your own. So everything from education, if you want to go back to school using your GI Bill benefits, if you're looking for that next job or that next career, if you're looking to work for the state or the federal government, some of the resources that are available to you as well. If you want to start your own business, if you're an entrepreneur, what are the benefits of being a veteran-owned business, and what are some of the specific types of certifications that you can have attached to your business if you're a veteran-owned business, as well as our service providers pathway. Service providers means that if you provide services, or if you work with veterans, if you employ veterans, if you advocate for veterans, and if you provide care to the veteran community, this pathway is designed to give you a cultural competency understanding of some of the needs that our veteran community faces. So kind of if your journey is taking you into one of these key areas, our program is there designed to assist you along the way. So this is what we call our life cycle map, or our veterans journey map. This is kind of something we've created just to kind of show you that the CalTAP program and Calvet is there to kind of step in each step of the way in the veteran's life cycle. Essentially, even all the way from joining the military, just kind of understanding the path ahead, and what the next steps are going to be. To you fulfilled your military service. Now you're separating. Where do you do? Where do you go next? Where's your local VA clinics? How do you enroll into VA healthcare? How do you certify your DD 214 and things of that nature, to going back to school, to finding a next career, to securing housing, to financial planning, retirement, and estate planning, all the way through till end of life care and end of life benefits and services as well through our national and state cemeteries. So the purpose of this visual is just to show that CalTAP is there every step of the way in your journey. So this is our website, the Calvet website. This is where you can go to learn more about our program. On that CalTAP icon, that you can kind of navigate each one of our learning pathways that I just mentioned, to learn more a little bit about your benefits. You can also go there to find all of your county veteran service offices, to wherever it is that you're tuning in from today. I think 56 out of the 58 counties in California have a designated county veteran service office, which is a free service provided to you with accredited VSOs. So please utilize your CVSOs at the county, and don't ever pay anybody to file a disability claim on your behalf. You can also go here to download a copy of our Veterans Resource Book. If you don't have a hard copy, you can always reach out to us to get on a mailing distribution for our resource books. And you can also download a PDF copy yourself. My colleague Kirk should be inputting that into the chat right now, and you can download that and download it for your desktop as well. It really is a great resource that covers everything related to federal benefits, state benefits, all of the eligibility criteria, kind of all the black and white detail that you need to know. So this is our website, where you can find us and learn a little bit. Here's a snapshot of that Veterans Resource Book. This is kind of what the front cover and page look like. But again, that'll be available in the chat to download as a PDF. All right, so I mentioned that core veterans curriculum that also states what exactly are the benefits that you're entitled to. So I just kind of want to go a quick overview of some of the benefits that are offered here in California for yourself as a veteran and possibly your family member. So kind of at the top of the list right here, you see our college and tuition fee waiver program. Hayden mentioned that a little bit in his presentation, but this program is designed for your dependents, for the veterans' dependents, to go to school tuition free. The eligibility for this is that, one, the veteran needs to have a service-connected disability with the VA. And when we talk about your rating, that rating can be all the way from a 0%, which means that you don't get any money from the VA, all the way through to a 100% rating, which means you're a total and permanently disabled veteran. As long as the veteran has this designation, the student, their dependent child, possibly spouse, if they're 100%, can go to any UC school, CSU school, or California Community College tuition free. It's a great benefit and a great program. Highly encourage you to assess your disability status and your rating. If you have children that are approaching college age, they need to apply for this benefit as well. DMV, we work with DMV on a few different benefits. One is having that designation on your driver's license. This just has the word veteran printed on your driver's license to show your veteran status in the community. It doesn't necessarily entitle you to any benefits or services, but it's just a way to show that you're a veteran without carrying around your DD 214 everywhere you go. So this will just kind of, show that status, whether it's for local discounts and things of that nature. It's just a good designation to have. Motor vehicle registration fee waiver. This benefit is specifically for veterans with a 100% service-connected disability with the VA, and this also has to have a mobility component to it, which means that a doctor or physician or a chiropractor has certified that you have a mobility impairment, and then you can submit this documentation to the DMV, and they will waive the registration for one of your motor vehicles. So again, 100% rated by the VA for this benefit with a mobility impairment. Additionally, for recreational activities, the state offers a state parks pass. If you have a 50% rating with the VA, you can apply for this pass. It allows you free entry into all of the California state parks, as well as a reduced fee on your hunting and fishing licenses. So you would just apply through these benefits through our partner agencies of Fish and Wildlife and state parks, and they will process this benefit for you to grant you this eligibility. Additionally, there's the disabled veteran property tax exemption. This is basically a discount on your property taxes. The eligibility is that you do have to be a 100% rated by the VA, and you would apply through this benefit through your county assessor's office if you own your home, and they will basically grant you an exemption. I think it's around $140,000 off of your property taxes. So it's a good way to save you money on your annual tax statement if you have this eligibility. The business license and tax and fee exemption. This isn't a benefit that's offered directly through the state or Calvet. This is a benefit that should be honored by any office that issues a business license. So if you're a veteran and you want to sell any goods or products or vend any services, and you needed to acquire a business license, wherever you get that license, they should be offering you an exemption to obtain that license for whatever their fee is. Some of the additional divisions that we have at Calvet and kind of how we all work together. So our program, CalTAP, falls within Veteran Services. Veteran Services manages all of our state programs, our outreach and our training programs. That's where the CalTAP program lies. Our home loans program, we have a great program. You may be familiar with your VA home loan, but we have a great program here at the state that uses your VA home loan eligibility, and to where Calvet at the state actually serves as the lender for that VA home loan. So you get a lot of great benefits kind of wrapped up into one on the federal side as well as the state side. So if you're interested in home ownership, you can always reach out to us and we'll provide you the links and information. We also do specific webinars and training events just on the Calvet home loan. So if you'd like to join us again, if you liked this webinar, you can always come back and follow us along for any additional topics that we cover as well. We also have our women's and our minorities and underrepresented veterans teams. These divisions do a lot of great work, outreach, and advocacy for some of our underserved veteran community here in the state, whether it's mentorship resources, whether it's networking, additionally, citizenship and naturalization resources for underserved veterans as well. Calvet operates 8 Calvet homes for long-term care. So we have 8 facilities that offer care through independent living all the way through skilled nursing facilities. So if that time of need does come for yourself or a friend or a family member who does need personalized long-term care, please know that they have eligibility to apply for residency in a Calvet veterans home. And additionally, our cemeteries, memorials as well. So you may be familiar with the National VA Cemetery nationwide, but Calvet at a state level we operate 3 state cemeteries as well. So again, when that time of need does come for yourself or a friend or a family member as a veteran, they do have eligibility into a VA cemetery, whether it's national or state. All right, so that was a lot of information to take in today in a short period of time. So if you would like to reach out to us directly and ask your questions a little bit more of a one-on-one basis, you can always send us an email to our CalTAP at Calvet address right there. You can always register for a profile on our website. This will allow you to stay up to date on all of our announcements, our newsletters, and our outreach, to where you can actually follow along and tune in for any additional topics that we're covering. We also encourage you to complete the program survey just for this event. We do take these surveys pretty seriously. This just ensures that we're coming on here and presenting relevant information to you, and it's useful to you, and it really helps tailor our training programs and our curriculum going forward to best serve veterans and their families. So we're going to be sharing a link, I think a QR code as well. So if you can pull out your phone maybe while you're listening to me here, and take literally 2 minutes to click a couple buttons, that would serve us really well. So thanks again. All right, I mentioned My Calvet. This is where you can go on our website to create a profile for yourself. Basically, just like kind of signing up on our website, and this will allow you to stay plugged in and up to date on all of our current information. This is a little bit of an older version, but we do send out a weekly newsletter that has all of our trainings that we're going to be doing throughout that month. Every month we cover a different topic, a different theme. So if you reach out to us directly and request to be signed up for our website and our services, you would be added to this distribution list, and then you can stay up to date weekly on all of the work that CalTAP is doing with all of our trainings and outreach. This is my personal, my work email, but you can reach me here personally. Be happy to talk to you about anything that we covered today. Maybe you learned something new today that you didn't before, and that's kind of our goal. We always at least get a few people who say, "Oh, I didn't know about that." So we're glad that you're tuning in today, and we'd be happy to take the time to talk to you at length about anything that we covered today. All right. Lastly, I want to talk about a little bit more about some local resources and local assistance in the Los Angeles region. I'm filling in today for Mr. Anthony Rodriguez. Unfortunately, couldn't make it today. But Anthony serves as our link, and you can see it's kind of a play on words, our local interagency network coordinator. So Anthony works in the Los Angeles County and Ventura County. I'm going to kind of tell you a little bit more about what the links do and what their roles are. So you can see here, this is a map of California, of course, and they're divided into 8 regions. These regions are population based, right? So you can see kind of down in Orange County right there is a super small region, but it has a high concentration of military veterans. Compare that to the region up north, basically half of the state of California up there. That's where Cole works. And his region looks a little different than Orange County and San Diego. He's got a lot of rural veterans out there who typically don't want to be found. So the benefits and the services and the work that each one of our links do is a little different. So basically, if you need any direct Calvet assistance locally, their job is to basically serve as the boots on the ground and the subject matter experts for your county. So you can see where each one of these links, their name and their email address. So I do encourage you to maybe take a snapshot of this to keep with you. Basically, wherever you go, there's a Calvet representative to really work directly with you. What do they do specifically? Our links are basically provide our outreach to the service members, veterans, and their families. Like I said, really, be those boots on the ground that we rely on to, connect with veterans, stakeholders, service providers in their region, and they really work directly to make referrals to nonprofit organizations and service providers in their county. So if a veteran comes to a link, a veteran comes to Anthony in Los Angeles and says, "Hey, I'm really struggling to find housing. I need some low income, or I'm housing, or I'm on the risk of being homeless." Anthony's role is to point them in the direction and give them a referral to a housing provider. That's just an example. And it could be any other thing from employment assistance to getting them plugged into their VA healthcare clinics, and really just kind of serving as a direct advocate in their region. Another aspect is our links assist with all of our local emergencies. So whether it's fire or flooding, those are kind of the 2 big ones. If there is a federal disaster relief center that's created or established, I should say, due to a natural disaster, our links are there on site to provide direct support for veterans who may have lost their homes, lost all of their records, their identification. So our links are there, boots on the ground to assist in any local emergencies as needed. And again, just overall providing advocacy to local communities, really understanding what the needs of veterans are in their regions. Like I said, some veterans have different needs that could be based on age, period of service, where they served, and where they live now in California. So that's basically an overview of what our links do. Again, they work really in partnership with EDD, specifically the veterans employment representatives in their region. Their job is to have personal relationships with all of the local service providers. So they know these people directly. It's their job to kind of serve as that referral network. So with employment, they work, hand in hand with our county veteran service offices, such as Hayden's office, to provide, services for veterans in relation to benefits and claims, and really, working directly with our CVSOs. They're all CalVet employees, so they're knowledgeable about all of our benefits and services as well. And additionally, they have relationships with all of the VA healthcare centers and the vet centers as well, who provide our mental health support for veterans in that region. This is Anthony's email address. It's lalink@calvet. But again, you can refer to that list of the map if you're tuning in from a different county today. Any one of our links is there to serve you along your way. Okay, so I mentioned our survey. I'm going to leave this up for maybe one more minute. But if you have your smartphone out, just go ahead and take a camera shot of this QR code. This will direct you to a program survey. And we really do appreciate your feedback. It goes a long way in making sure that we're here doing a good job for you, which is our goal. So, all right. So I'll leave this up maybe as we're doing questions, Kirk. So let's leave that up. And Kirk, I will go ahead and turn it over to you. It seemed pretty light on the Q&A side, unless those have been trickling into the chat feature. So I'll go ahead and let you take those on, Kirk.
Thank you, Derek. We did have a couple questions. They were pretty general in nature. The first one was if there's, he was asking, and Hayden had answered this one about the vets that were contractors on terminal leave, if they were eligible for any benefits after the fact. So he was just encouraging them, if you think you had some kind of service connected while you were in, or maybe after, let them decide. I mean, if you have something, basically just apply and file a claim. The second one was, let's see, another one wanted more detail on the discharge upgrade list. So I provided him a more of a comprehensive which the discharge character of services were, and then also the information link on how to apply for discharge upgrades, using the County Veteran Service Office as a pathway or a source of flat plowshares, and where you're at regionally that they have down there. They will be providing the PDF. I did put that in the chat several times. If you did not get a copy of the PDF, I'll put it in another time. You can always email CalTAP at calvet, and we can always provide that to you there, and just contact us.
I think Hayden wanted to chime in real quick here. Go ahead,
Hayden.
Hayden.
Go ahead, Hayden. Yeah, you're more than welcome to.
Hey, thanks, guys. So I just want to reiterate that, if don't disqualify yourself, or don't dismiss any possible illness or injury, physical, psychological injury that may be related to the military. You just don't know until you get, have a sit down with VSO in your area. The last thing you want to do is disqualify yourself before you even submit a claim. So, it could be like, you'd be surprised at the things that we could get approved for, whether by blaming the military directly or through secondary disabilities, and just increasing your overall percentage if you just have a sit down with us or a phone call with us on what's possible. So yeah, we don't turn water into wine, but we could make some things happen that you may be shocked by. And so please give us a call.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. I've heard stories, Hayden, about, people have been directed to a CVSO just to get their DMV paperwork certified for a driver's license. And they end up walking away with like, a, 70, 80, 100% service connected disability that they weren't even, prepared for. So of course it takes some time with that, but at least they, um, it's kind of the first step. So, if you're considering it or visiting a VSO, you never know what's out there. Basically just agreeing everything that you said, Hayden, 100%.
Yeah, and if I may, just one more point too. So in case you're wondering, what's the difference between you going to the VA and having someone at the VA file your claim for you, or going on va.gov, which was used to be e-benefits, and filing your own claim. If you're asking yourself like, well, what's the difference? I could do this from my bedroom, from my dorm room. I could do it from my car. Why am I going to take the time to see a VSO that's anywhere from 10 to maybe 30 minutes away, depending on where you live? Well, let me tell you why. So our job here is not to submit paperwork. That's a byproduct of what we do. But that's not why we're here. Our main goal and mission is to guide, advise, develop your claim, okay? And continue this process as many times as necessary until you, the veteran, feel that you've been fulfilled and satisfied, okay? And so that is the big reason why it's so important that you come visit one of our Calvet offices or one of your local county VSO offices, so that we could, fill you in on what's possible. Because we're not just entering information and letting you walk out this door not to see you again. Our job here is to be consultants and advisors. And so please, I cannot stress this enough, especially if you're recently discharged. Please pick up the phone or go on the Calvet website, excuse me, and look us up and let us help you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Well,
Hayden.
you might as well stay on, Hayden, because we got a couple more questions. So
Oh yeah, please go
the
ahead.
next one's going to be, how do you know which path to take from federal benefits versus the state? He goes, which pathway, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's a great question. So, the path is actually pretty distinct. So, for the majority of us, especially if you don't have any children, or dependents, should I say, there will likely be some kind of VA disability compensation claim that we could file. Okay. Now, for some of our older veterans who are on a fixed income, there may be also a non-service connected VA pensions, right? Um, and that's another way to put money back in the pockets of our brothers and sisters. Um, and that is a VA benefit. But separately, our wonderful state has several incredible things that they do for us and our families, like was touched upon, which includes something that's simple but could be significant, like getting veteran on your driver's license, getting your registration fees waived with the California DMV offices, through the Calvet home loan, the tuition fee waiver for our kids, which could be granted for not just our biological kids, but for adopted children and stepchildren. So when you actually bring your situation to a VSO, we will be able to easily separate what's what and how to get each benefit, whether it's from the state, from the VA, or both. So it's a little easier than you think, but I understand that at first glance, it might be a little confusing. So
That's good. Yeah, there's different benefits as per the federal side, how they provide them, as well as from the state. So there's benefits from both. So we'll go into the VSO's office and see which ones you're eligible for. The next question is it better to submit a claim for a few disabilities at first, or all of them all at once? That's a good question, I guess, if
yeah,
you're
no,
familiar with
no,
that.
that is a good question, and I do understand why you want to be mindful of something like that. So honestly, it doesn't come down to the quantity of the claims issues, whether it's one issue or a dozen or more. Really, what it comes down to is the merit of each disability. So ideally, under perfect circumstances, which we know is very rare and uncommon, you want to have either documentation or some sort, either documentation of a medical condition or illness, or complaints of chronic issues while you're still in, okay, While you're still in, you need to get this stuff documented. But unfortunately, for most of us, that's not the case. Um, or there has to be an event that could be verified by the VA that could be that could possibly explain some of your issues that you're dealing with. Okay, so you want to have that, and you want to have ongoing current documentation. So if you're able to meet those, check those boxes for, you know, 10 or so disabilities, then file all 10. You know, there's no, it doesn't hurt you if you file X amount of disabilities. What does hurt you, however, is if you don't have documentation to support and validate your claims. So I understand why you want to be mindful of that, but instead, I would ask that you consider whether or not you have a strong enough claim. And if you don't, again, talk to your VSO, and we'll develop that claim with you and guide you on how to make that claim as strong as possible to give you the best chances of approval.
Okay, so this next question, I was just typing the answer in for, he's asking if it's better to have a civilian doctor with your documentation or VA or both. And I'm just kind of confirming. It doesn't really matter as long if actually the more documentation and verification you have to support your claim, I would say the better. If you have personal doctors that are civilian as well as the VA healthcare, because they're going to open up your medical record anyway. So if it's service connected and it's documented in there, and you have your own personal civilian doctors to support that, it's kind of a win-win for you.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Oh, yes. What if the two conflict?
Oh, okay. You know what? That's a very real world. That's a very real world scenario. Okay, so let me use myself as an example. I have healthcare services through the VA here in LA County, but also have healthcare services through my employment with Kaiser Permanente. So, ideally, you want to. It's okay to withhold evidence, especially if it's not favorable medical evidence. Now, that's not something that is going to get you in trouble by any means. Just don't share that evidence with the VA. Okay, instead provide evidence that will help you. Okay, so if you have VA healthcare that's documenting things that seems to not support your claim, but you have healthcare documentation that does support your claim, then just go with that instead.
Good answer. All right, D Rose, that's all the questions we got. I appreciate everybody for chiming in your questions. You guys are pretty good today, so thank you very much. We appreciate your all questions.
Great. Thank you all. Thank you, Kirk, for manning those, and Hayden for your time. I also want to say thank you to our partner, Citrus College today, who's actually given us a platform to be able to host this webinar with their students on campus and the students in their Veterans Resource Center there as well. So Maria, I know you're joining us today. So thank you again for your partnership and collaboration on these trainings that we do as well. Wanted to give a plug to Citrus College for allowing us to host this today. If you have any questions for anybody on today's webinar, or any things that we covered, or you want to dive a little deeper into some of this information, here's everyone's contact information, myself and Kirk, our links, Anthony's contact information as well, and Hayden with the LA OMVA. So do encourage you to maybe jot these down or take a picture real quick so that you can have this information going forward. I mentioned that we host an array of different types of trainings, virtual trainings as well. We do a lot of in-person events at our military bases too. But on the virtual side, this is kind of what we have coming up through the month of May. We have a busy month of May. So like I said, we cover an array of topics. We mentioned discharge upgrades today, and I think there was a specific question about it. So maybe on May 15th, we can dive a little bit deeper into that for you. Additionally, you know, May is our big mental health awareness month. So we're doing a lot of mental health trainings and outreach, a little bit more on VA healthcare as well. So do encourage you to send us an email and sign up for some of our announcements and newsletters so that you can register for all of these upcoming trainings. With that, right on the dot, 1400. So we'll go ahead and conclude today's webinar. I just wanted to say thank you again for all of our participants, for Citrus College for allowing us to host this webinar today, to Hayden, to Kirk, thanks again for your time. And feel free to reach out to us, and thank you for your service. And with that, have a great rest of your day, week, stay safe, healthy, and we'll see you again. Take care.